Hi, I'm Brian Poole, Technology Coordinator, Teacher, and Technology Integration Specialist here at National Trail Schools. Welcome to National Trail. This is the new staff technology orientation briefing. We're putting it online now so you don't have to come in and do it all at one time. You can kind of do these things at your self-pace. So we have an online presence of several things. Everything ends with nationaltrail.us. Our school is www. Our Moodle learning management site is moodle.nationaltrail.us. The library is library. Support is support.nationaltrail.us. That's my support site in order to get and check on tickets. And you can go directly to put in a help desk ticket with helpdesk.nationaltrail.us. That's not on that site list there. And the last one is the mobile access site, which lets you get to your network drive from anywhere that has an internet connection at mobile.nationaltrail.us. So as far as username and passwords, we try to keep it simple. Your username is your first initial, last name, unless someone already has that at National Trail, which has only happened once to my knowledge. And that's to log on to PCs, the website, Moodle, if you end up using WordPress. Anything that we have control over is going to be that way, and there's one that we don't. Gmail is set up with that same username at nationaltrail.us. And it says password sync on local change only. I have never gotten that to work. So when I set up your username and password, if you want to change it to be the same, I highly recommend that. Now, Dazzle, which is the student information suite that's part of Progress Book, uses a different name and password, and you get that from the district office. Mine is NTHS_BP. It's probably something like that, but we set neither the username nor the password on that site. You should be getting an email to your Gmail to set that up. And then I would highly recommend going into that and setting all your passwords the same. We have technology-related PD on an ongoing basis. We have a YouTube site with over 500 videos at youtube.nationaltrail.us. That's anytime I make a PD video, I put it there. Anytime a teacher asks me a question that's not already answered there, I make a video and put it there. We have Tech Tuesdays after school at 2:45 and 3:45 in my room, room 203, unless otherwise announced that it's somewhere else. We stream those live on the YouTube channel, so they'll be there afterwards. You can either watch it from the comfort of your room during the school day or watch it later. I usually send out a link on what the subject was, and I do requests on that. If there's something you don't know how to do, and no one's made a request, that's the next Tech Tuesday, and I'll set it up just for what you need. You may be the only one there. That's okay. If I don't end up scheduling and setting one up because no one's made a request and I don't have anything on my list, I'm still there on Tuesdays at 2:45 for staff questions and answers, one-to-one help there. Most of the things I teach as a technology integration specialist here, but we have other teachers that help with a lot of different subjects that they're good at that I'm not. And so we have them do guest presentations as well. Every year, we traditionally do a technology skills in-service. That's scheduled at different times. It used to be in March. It's getting moved to the beginning of the year, except for the beginning of 2020, because there's enough other new things going on that we're not going to be hosting one specifically this year. When we do host those, we have 4 different sessions with usually 8 to 10 choices, and they're basically teacher-chosen PD that they feel like they would like to do that day. As far as technology support, rule number 1, you can tell me whatever you want in the hallway. I won't remember it. You need to submit a help desk ticket. I get barraged every single time I walk around the school in the hallway. By the time I get back to my desk, I've almost forgotten all of them, which is why I always say put in a ticket. I do those first come, first serve. Use the site helpdesk.nationaltrail.us, or if you can't get logged on, which should be your trail username and password, you can just email helpdesk@nationaltrail.us. The problem with emailing is It doesn't have you fill in all the fields, and it doesn't become the same kind of ticket, so there's no way for you to log on to support.nationaltrail.us and see the things that have been done on your ticket. However, I say that, rule number 2, if it's a teacher emergency, call my room or my cell phone. My room number is 1235, and I'm not going to give my cell phone out on a public video, but I'll give it to you in person, or you can call the high school office, and they'll certainly give it to you. Teacher emergencies mean you can't teach. That is not a teacher emergency if a student's laptop doesn't work. That's a student emergency. They're never emergency because there's 1,200 of them, and I can't prioritize students that way. So student devices are not an emergency. However, obviously, put in a help desk ticket on those as soon as you have a problem, and we can work on it. Rule number 4, see rule number 1. If you talk to me in the hallway, you still need to put in a ticket, or I may forget it unless you see me sitting at the desk in your room doing it right then. And I'm not trying to be facetious with that. I've had, through the years, hundreds of times teachers say, we talked about it. And I said, did I tell you to put in a ticket? And they go, yeah, but we talked about it. I'm like, but I also talked to 10 other teachers in the hallway before I get back to my room. So please put in a help desk ticket. Turnaround time. Normally, in a normal school year, I say 1 hour for teachers, same day staff, 24-hour students. During COVID-19, that is not going to be the case. I will not be leaving my room and entering students' rooms until after 2:45 in the afternoon. And that includes even for teacher emergencies. And so how do we handle that? There are laptop carts in the library and in the middle school office. So if there's any kind of an issue during the school day, I want you to call me. I want you to put in a help desk ticket. But if you need a computer right then, call the office, ask them to send one of the laptops down to you to use until I can get yours fixed. If it's a student device in the high school, doesn't matter what time of the day, the students can call you actually will call the library and say, hey, I'm sending Jim Jones down to get a new laptop. He'll bring his down, fill out a work order on a piece of paper down there, leave his laptop there, and take a spare that he'll use until we get his fixed and return it to him. One of my student aides will return it during intervention. For middle school students, same thing, but to the middle school office. There's a whole cart there of middle school loaners that if a student has a problem during the day, they can get those out, and teachers can also get those out, and that would be until I get your device fixed. You can always call me. Most things I can help over the phone. I can remote to every computer that's on in the entire district. So most of the time, unless the computer won't turn on, I can help you no matter what. So don't feel like you can't call. If I'm in the middle of a presentation, you might hear me say, hold on, because I'm walking around to get to my phone. But don't ever feel like you can't interrupt my class. If I can, I will help you. Just during COVID-19, I won't be leaving my room during the school day. This is what the actual support.nationaltrail.us site looks like. You put in your trail username, your password to log in, and then it has summary, what's wrong, description, give me as much information as you can, and then there's a drop down for high school, middle school, elementary school. Category is staff or student support, and please put in the room number because my tech students have access to this as well, and I can say, hey, you need, and my interns, go work on this, and they need to know where they're going to. Also, after you've put in a work order, over here you can see where it says open requests. That's where you can go and click on and see who it's been assigned to, what's work being done, if we had to order parts, when we expect it to be finished. And that's the difference between logging on and putting a work order in and emailing in a work order. You don't have access to that because it doesn't link it to your logon ID for you to be able to check it later. So that's the work order system, and it's the technology work order system, not to be confused with the school facilities work order system, which is something totally different. By the way, I teach on orange days. I am the tech director on brown days. So if you know what day it is for the high school, you also know whether I'm going to be in class or not. As far as technology things go, you won't get anything without asking. And I will tell you that more than probably any other tech director, because I teach and because I do the tech integration stuff as well, I'm very, very apt to get you what you ask for, unless it's something totally out of the ordinary. If you ask for a Mac laptop, I'm not going to get you one. We're a PC district, but if you ask for a PC one, you'll get one, just like the one I'm on now with the webcam, and it'll be an i5 or an i7 solid state drive. You get the idea. If you want any kind of special classroom tech that you don't have, just ask. I'm not going to say you're going to get it, but I'm not going to say you're not. If you need help, you can always check the youtube.nationaltrail.us site. Always ask if you have a question, and I've already went over those turnaround times there for you as well. As far as your teacher workstations, whatever the last person asks is what's in your room when you show up, but you really have 3 options. Option number 1 is a full-size desktop. They are i5s and i7s, and they're nice workstations with decent video cards. That is the best performance one because desktops stay cooler. All 3 of these options have the same internal components. Option number 1 and number 2 have 2 hard drives, so if you get a virus, I can wipe the one without you losing any documents. Option number 2 is just a smaller version of option number 1. If you're cramped for desk space like many elementary school teachers are, where they've got theirs, they have all mostly preferred the option number 2. Many high school teachers prefer option number 1, and a few of the teachers have gone with option number 3, which is just a docking station with a screen, a keyboard, and a mouse, so that your laptop becomes your primary workstation. The downside of option number 3 is that if you take it home and call in sick, there's no workstation there for the sub. Also, because it only has 1 drive, I can't erase your drive and put a new load on it without destroying your documents, so they have to be backed up. Everyone can have a laptop, even if they have option 1 and 2. I really recommend you do option 1 or option 2, and you have a laptop to take home and bring back and sync up documents and all that stuff. But it's your call, it's your room, and I'll support whatever you want. We have a variety of classroom tools available for every teacher in the district. If you don't have them, it's because the person before you didn't ask for them. It doesn't mean you can't have them. It just means you need to ask. Number 1, everyone's either got a digital whiteboard, either a Mimeo board or a smart board. If you come in and you're more comfortable with the smart board, then ask for one. It'll be a couple weeks, but you'll get one. I have them in the closet. I actually got 65 from another school district when they pulled them all down. It's no cost to us. We're just going to mount them and put it in there. I prefer a Mimeo board, and that's because I get a bigger projection. I get to use more of my screen. Many teachers like the Mimeo board because they can also use the whiteboard to write on, whereas with a smart board, you can't write on a smart board, and it's slightly smaller. Not a lot smaller, just a little bit smaller. And if that's what you're comfortable with, ask for that. And if you want the other, we can take the smart board down. It's totally up to you. It's your classroom. We do highly recommend that you use your digital whiteboard all the time. Many teachers aren't comfortable with the digital whiteboard when they first start. And I'm going to talk about my next door neighbor in room 202, Lon Swihart, as a veteran teacher that's used a chalkboard his entire life. And several years ago, I said, Lon, can I put a smart board in your room, hang it up? If after 2 weeks you want me to get rid of it, I will. I'll take it down. You'll never know it was there. 2 weeks later, Lon said, if you ever take this board away, I'll quit. Or something like that. When you get used to using a digital whiteboard, when you get used to the ability to write and save and go back and get a new clean slate without erasing anything, the ability to record sessions like this for your students that are perfectly clear. Getting used to a digital whiteboard takes 2 weeks of you just sucking it up and using it. But once you have, it's very, very, very hard to go back. I had never used one before when I put up my first smart board, and same thing after a couple weeks, and I made myself use it so that I would learn to be able to support the other staff. Same thing with the Mimeo board, and once I used the Mimeo board, I stayed with it. I preferred that to be able to have the bigger area. If yours has any issues, you just need to talk to me. It could be the battery, it could be the USB cable. There's things that happen. But I really, really suggest you try to get used to using those tools. We have a variety of document cameras, and this is kind of the evolution. This is the original IPEVO that many of you have on the left. It could be in your drawer. This is the newer IPEVO, and this is the new document camera that we started getting in the summer of 2020 because the IPEVOs were all sold out and we couldn't get them anymore. All of them work great for as a webcam to record sessions just like this for your student to capture what you're teaching for your online students. They work great, obviously, as document cameras. The newer two models all have microphones in them, so you don't need a separate microphone if you're using those as a webcam as well. And I'm going to also mention that we have 15 and 30-foot extension cables, so if you want to put the camera right in front of your room in the front student desk so that as you're teaching to your students and catching the video, all you have to do is ask and we'll get you extension cable as well. I should mention, it was on this, we also have microphones. All the high school classrooms have microphones mounted in the ceilings over their digital whiteboard. We got those as part of a blended learning grant that we did several years ago. Any other teacher that's asked for a separate microphone, which you need if you have this IPEVO, can get one. We have about 20 in the closet that I bought just for teachers who ask. So if you're unhappy with the sound that you're getting, particularly from this one has a great mic and I've used it and it works fantastic. Ask me. It may just be the settings on your mic that we need to work on, or maybe we mount it somewhere else. Several teachers are asked for their microphones to be mounted in the ceiling, just like we did in the high school. We'll definitely do that. My tech team is more than happy to do that for you as well. Okay. Network drives. Everyone at Trail has a T drive when they go to their computer. When you go to click on My Computer, open up Windows Explorer. The T drive is backed up every day, archived every week, and we have the last 3 to 4 weeks archived at any one time, as well as being archived off campus at the ESC in a system I have over there. I highly recommend you save your documents to your T drive. You can get to it to any PC that you log on campus. And then it's easier to move your documents to your laptop that you're working on when you go home. But you can also get to that T drive from a phone, from an iPad, from your laptop, any internet connection by going to that site on the bottom that I just covered up when I moved my mouse. Mobile.nationaltrail.us uses your regular username and password to log on to get to that. Really, a lot of staff members only use their T drive. They don't keep anything on my document and on my desktop because they know that it can go away if something happens. We've had several catastrophes over my time since I started in 2003, but none with people that kept their stuff on their T drive because we have those documents backed up. And you can see if you log on and you get Windows Explorer, you should see a T drive down there. That's the amount of space that's free on the T drive, not your T drive, just so you know. And we can go and increase that size if we start to run out of space. That is for teaching stuff, by the way, not your personal videos, your personal pictures, your music collection. That stays on your computer. We don't want to be backing that up and making multiple copies of backed up music, just to make sure that's straight. We've had several teachers who put their entire home video collection on there thinking, that's how I'll back it up. Use Google Drive to do that. Anyway, and Google Drive, by the way, is unlimited storage as well. This is what the mobile drive looks like. If you go to mobile.nationaltrail.us, put in your username, you'll see your T drive. Any folders, documents, you can click on them and download them to your home computer or your laptop at home. You can drag them right on there to upload them back after you've edited them. You can't edit them online. This is just a website that lets you download that information and then re-upload it if you're offline. Okay, Moodle. It's our online classroom presence. It's our grade book for all classes. It's where we post resources, activities, everything. I'm going to play at this point the parent introduction video. It's 5 minutes. That's going to be stuffed in the middle of this video, so you've got kind of an overview of what we tell parents about Moodle, so you know what's kind of generally expected of you. Hi, welcome to National Trail Local Schools. I'm Brian Poole. Technology Coordinator here at NTLS. And this video is about our online learning management system called Moodle. Moodle's free open source learning management system that allows teachers to post all assignments, grades, activities, and resources in one place for grades 5 through 12. Parents need to understand what Moodle is so they can help make sure their student is going where they need to go to find those assignments, resources, and activities, as well as contact information for teachers in case you or they need to get in contact with them outside of the normal school day. Now, Moodle's address is moodle.nationaltrail.us, which is how all National Trail online resources end, with .nationaltrail.us. So we have moodle.nationaltrail.us, library.nationaltrail.us, www.nationaltrail.us, as well as a new system that you're getting more information on later in September called Aubrey, and that's aubrey.nationaltrail.us. But let's get into Moodle right now. Every class has its own course on Moodle. So we're going to take a look at that. So once a student logs on to moodle.nationaltrail.us and they use their school username and password that we provide them, they will see a list of all their classes, and if we're far enough into the quarter, the current grades for that quarter listed at the top of the site. Once they're in there, they can click on any one of the classes to go to the class site itself. Now, all classes may be organized slightly different depending on what the class is and what the themes of the class are, but all the classes look basically the same. In the top left, you'll see a table of contents allowing you to navigate to the different sections of the Moodle course, and those sections are set up by chapter or by theme or by subject depending on the course in question. On the top right of the course, you're going to see your course calendar, and if you click on the month in question, it should show the things that are coming up, that are due, that are past due, because as we add things to Moodle, we can click on the date that those things are due. In the middle is where you go to when you click on those other things. That's where the content of Moodle is. There should be a section called Course Overview, and that's where you'll find the course syllabus, contact information for the teacher, and any general class information that the teacher wants to put out, maybe about themselves or about the course, belongs in that Course Overview section. After that, teachers can highlight the current section that they're in, and it looks a slightly different color than the rest of the sections, and most students will know what section they're in, and they can just click on it in the top left on the table of contents and go directly to this section of material that students are in. Now, there's tons of different kinds of activities that students can do and submit and participate in a Moodle classroom, and depending on what the teacher uses, which ones of the activities and the resources they use, those things are listed in the middle of the course. Again, if they're an activity with a due date, they'll also show up on the course calendar and on upcoming events in the course. When they first log on to Moodle, it has a section for all the things that are coming up and coming due in all their classes. Once a student clicks on a specific activity in Moodle, that's when they can read about what that activity is, what's due, what all the assignment is in question if it's something that's assigned, or it might have embedded YouTube videos and text to read and links to other websites as well. All the teachers use Moodle to support and facilitate their classes, but they all use it and use different parts of Moodle activities in different ways. If students want to see their grades, they can just click on the grade button at the top of Moodle. Along with that, up there where they can click their grades, there's also a drop down that lets them jump to the other websites that are available from National Trail as well. If they go to that grade button up top, then it shows all their courses, and if they click on any one of those courses, it shows the grade book for that particular course, so they can see what is done, what's not done. Students or Teachers can put comments in there as well so that they can give feedback on any one of those assignments online, just like they do with a piece of paper in class. The big thing is, if you have a question, have your student log on and go over it with you. And if you still have questions, feel free to contact your teacher on each individual course if there's things you're not sure or don't understand on the Moodle course. Hopefully this served as an introduction to some of the web presence that we have here at National Trail, specifically a general overview of what Moodle is and how we use it in courses grades 5 through 12. Thanks and have a great day. We have G Suite. NTLS uses Gmail. All students have Gmail accounts. Theirs start with their graduation year, first initial, last name at nationaltrail.us, just like ours are, bpool at nationaltrail.us. We also have email groups for all of our parents and students, and I have some examples down here. NTHS_students at nationaltrail.us will email every student in the high school, just like NTMS, NTES will for the middle school and elementary school. If you put just the graduation year, it emails all those students. So 2020 at nationaltrail.us would have emailed the 2020 class. 2020_parents at nationaltrail.us emails all the parents of that group. And then we have the NTLS staff, NTHS staff. You get the idea from looking there. So we have a lot of Google groups available to email to. And if you ever have a question, just email me what the group name is and I'll email it back to you. To log on, you just put your full username at nationaltrail.us, and then you have access to all of the Google Suite there. We use Google Docs, slides, all those things, and many teachers have YouTube channels to upload and post the videos they record. It is the most universal access method. If you put videos on Moodle, some things will be able to watch them, not all things. If you upload it to YouTube and link it to Moodle, then everything will be viewable. What doesn't matter what kind of phone they have, what kind of tablet they have, what kind of internet even they have, because it will lower the quality of the video to match their internet speed. I highly recommend you set up your YouTube channel also in that PD so that you can post class videos there in one place. Passwords, I recommend they all be the same. It is your ability to change the password. All you need to do to change your school password is be logged on to anything, hit Control and delete, and one of the options is change password. It has to have 8 characters total. It has to have an uppercase, a lowercase, and a number, or a special character. 3 of those 4 things has to be in there. I highly recommend you choose something that you know that nobody else knows. Your grandfather's middle name, your grandmother's middle name, and then you add characters at the end that those are the things you change, right? So my grandma's name was Leona. So if I made it Leona, a couple special characters, and then the month and the date that I changed it, next time I just need to change that month and the date so I can incrementally change it while making the first part of it strong enough that no one's going to guess. When you change your password on a computer, it changes Moodle, it changes the website. It does not change Dazzle. That's something you have to change on your own. So Dazzle is part of the Progress Book Suite. It's the only part that we get for free. It's where we put school lunch counts, attendance, and grades. But in general, most of the time, the grades upload automatically from Moodle. Just the end of the year grades, the last quarter, we have to enter manually because there's no time to have you verify it in between. Those grades you have to enter manually. All the rest of the time, we enter grades automatically. And there's some caveats to that, but mostly they upload from Moodle. You can check student information, contact information on Dazzle. That's also all loaded in Moodle. That's also going to be all loaded in Abre, which is a new system that I'm not going over today, but we're going to go over in the future as a place for us to be able to access data on students. When you go to the website and it's linked in Moodle, it's linked on your desktop, you have to choose that dsl.swilka.net, put in your username and your password, and to change it once you're logged on, you just go to the drop-down list that I'm showing you, to my account, change password, and then you can change it to match every other password that you're using for Gmail and your other accounts. If you want to, you don't have to. So that is a basic introduction to the things we have here at National Trail. If you have specific questions, email me. I do want to go back to Moodle for just a second. When you come into Trail, I generally make you a whole new Moodle course for what you're teaching and then give you access to the last teacher's courses. It'll say -old at the end so that you can reference their stuff. If you want to just take over their course, you can. But I will tell you that 100% of the time, staff members had said, could you undo that because theirs isn't the way I want to do it. And so usually staff want to start with a whole new course. And frequently staff start with their own course, and then after a year or two they say, hey, can you make me a new Moodle course? Because I want to start over again and make it cleaner than it was before. And that takes me 30 seconds to do. Don't ever feel like you can't make that request. That's it. Welcome to National Trail Local Schools, and have a great year.